Krishna, everyone. Hope you are all doing good. So, we have reached on the fifth day of our series, and now we are going to study today fifth chapter. So, before that, we will start with our Mangla Charan. I hope it is displayed. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ॐ अज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So I welcome you all to the fifth day session. So today we are going to understand the summary of chapter 5. So what all things are there in chapter 5? So first is water on lotus leaf, that is from 5.1 to 5.12. Then three doers, 5.13 to 5.16. Equal vision, 5.17 to 5.28. And in the last, we are going to understand the peace formula, that is 5.29. So in this session, little bit let us remember what we understood in the fourth chapter. In the fourth chapter, we understood how we should work and what kind of work we should do and what will yield what kind of result. So we heard about karma, vikarma and akarma. So in this chapter, now we will understand how should we act with akarma in our mind. So it's going to be more about our actions and in a more pious mode. So now Arjuna said, "O Krishna, first of all, you asked me to renounce the work. Then again you recommend work with devotion. Now, can you please explain? I'm not able to understand which of two is more beneficial to me." Then the Supreme Personality of Godhead replied, "The renunciation of work and work in devotion. So, are both good for liberation. Both are good. But of both of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of the work." So, giving up the work, giving up all our activities, much more better than that is to work as in a devotional service mode. Now, next shloka which is coming here is Sanyasastu mahabaho dukham aptum ayogataha yoga yukto munir brahma nachirena gachati. So Lord Krishna is telling here, merely renouncing all activities, yet not engaging in devotional service of the Lord cannot make one happy. But a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without delay. So sannyasas to mahabahu. So some people they think when they hear that, oh, I'm going to get with my every action I'm going to get some or other reaction. So many challenges are there to work. So let me not do any activity only. Let me not to work only here. So that thing the Lord is saying doesn't works out. If we are here on this planet, we cannot sustain by engaging in any activity. Whatever we do, we have to engage in some or other activities. Even though if we are closing ourselves in the house, our mind is engaged. So some or other engagement, some or other activities keep happening. So we have to learn what is the best way to come out of this problem. We cannot give up our activities. We cannot stop working. So now we have to understand what is the best way that I can live here happily. And there is, I'm not getting any reactions also. So, no need to detach yourself. We have to only attach. No cutting off. That's why it's very much important to understand Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, we will be suffering. No, I should cut this thing. I should not do this. I should not do that. No, we have to do, but we should learn certain techniques how we have to work here. After that, in 5.10, Lord is telling, Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyate na sapapena padmapatram ivambhasa. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by the water. So, we all know where the lotus is growing, right? It's growing in the water itself. But still, it is untouched by the water, right? So, that is the way we have to learn. We should work. The Lord is telling we should work, but without attachment to the results. Now the question will be coming in our mind, how I'll work if I'm not thinking about the results? I need to understand, like, no, if results are like I'm preparing for exams or I'm cooking some dish, I have to be conscious, like, no, it should come out very good. It should be in some mindset, like it should come out sweet or it should come out kara, something it should be there in our mind. And if we are preparing for any entrance test for like IIT or IAS or something, then we have to think of the results and then prepare for our activity and whatever task. So results, here in Bhagavad Gita and multiple places, this concept is coming that we should not be attached to our results. Karmanyavadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. So there also the Lord is telling in multiple places. So what is the motive behind that? That Lord focus lot on, like, no, on this point, like we should not be bothered about the results. So this is called a karma, when we are not attached to our results. Why the Supreme Lord is telling this? Because the results are not in our hand, and because we should be prepared for accepting the results, whatever is going to come. What happened, people generally, they have prepared a lot for certain thing and the result didn't came out good. So what is there? They'll be shattered or they'll be super excited. These are the two modes. So Lord is saving us that we should not be impacted and we should move forward. Whatever result has come, we should accept it. People should not go into depression. People should not impact, their life should not be impacted once the result has come. For that thing, Lord is preparing us. See, any work we are doing, for example, any activity, there are two stages in that. Any kind of work you do, one is which is in our control, what we are doing, how the things we have to plan, what all actions we have to take. These all things are in our control. Our planning, how many hours we are going to do in that, what kind of raw material we are going to put, what all things we are going to buy, all work, actions are in our control. But the second stage There are two stages, as I told. The second stage is completely out of our control. It's beyond our control. That are the things like which are the results. The results is not only coming out based on our actions. Lot of criteria is there in that. There can be the mood of the other person who is testing, checking our exams, our paper, or there can be certain like no environmental situations. Certain many situations are there which influence the results. That's why generally people are taking that I have worked hard and I will get good results. So when people are going with this mindset and they are thinking yes I will score 99.9, but when it is not coming like this, that is a devastating state for them. They are not able to accept it, especially the failures. So Lord wants all his children that they should not get impacted by the results. He's saying whatever results are coming, you accept it and move forward. Plan what is your next step now. It's not like you are sitting inside the house, how doors are closed. I don't want to see the people. I cannot face the people. Whatever result has come for me. So it's very much important, and many the time kids and who are giving lot of different kind of interest test and put their lot of energies and result didn't came as they have thought, so they go into depression, and many of them are taking lot of wrong steps also. So Bhagavad Gita is training from the very childhood, like no, how our action should be and how the result should be taken as. See, the life doesn't end with one result. There are a lot of plannings after that. Even it is not only for the failures, it is also for the winning part also. If you have achieved, people sometimes if they have won or if they have achieved the success, they climb so much high that nothing is visible. They completely go into so much enjoyment mood that they forget that again next thing is coming in their life. Next exam is also waiting, next activity is waiting, what is the next going to happen. One result they have achieved the best, and they, it's not like no cricket or any sports also we see one game tournament they have played and they are into so much enjoyment mood that they've completely forget for the next tournament. Then how they are going to give their performance? So it's very much important for the winners and losers both that they should not be attached to the results. Results should be in the mind that yes, my focus is this, I need to achieve it. But we should be prepared for best, whatever losing or failure, both we should be ready. That means backup plans should be always on. So one pastime I would like to tell in this, like no, from Ramayana, Jatayu. You might have heard, like no, Mother Sita, Ravana came in the form, disguised form, and he kidnapped Mother Sita. Lord Ram was not there, Lakshmana was not there, and Mother Sita was screaming. And this Ravana, he has forced her into his that plane and was taking her towards Lanka. So in between, Jatayu, who is a very old vulture, he saw that Mother Sita is like no getting kidnapped, and he thinks that I should stop him. Now Jatayu was aware that he is very old and Ravana is very very powerful, but still he didn't thought at all that whether I will be losing or I'll be able to protect. But he put all his efforts to protect Mother Sita. There was nothing in his mind whether I'll be able to do or not. But he put all his 100% efforts in protecting, in fighting with Ravana. And in that procedure, Ravana has cut off the wings of Jatayu and even he lost his life. So, Lord, here we get to know the nature of the Supreme Lord. Whenever any activity we are doing, First of all, it is told that we should offer all our results to Supreme Lord. That is what is akarma, right? So the Lord does not see whether Jatayu was victorious or not. He didn't came. Like, what is the tendency we are having in our material world? We will come and say, hey, you were not able to save my wife, or you were not able to do the things. People have got this tendency that our society has become result oriented. But the Supreme Lord, he looks at the efforts. What, how much efforts we have put. Whether we failed in that doesn't matter to him. He just see our endeavors. We tried to approach him. We tried to help him. Whatever we did, he is going to observe that. That is the nature of the Supreme Lord. So as Lord Ram got to know about Jatayu, he didn't came and scolded, you were not able to. He said, oh, you have tried your best. Jatayu was feeling that I was not able to save Mother Sita. But Lord Ram gave all his due respect, like no, to Jatayu. And he did all the final rites for him, which he just did like as he would have done for his father. And Jatayu took his last breath in the lap, in the arms of the Supreme Lord. So that is what, like no, results are very much secondary. Our efforts really matter a lot. We have to put all of our efforts. Result is in our mind. Yes, I should try for the best. I should try for winning. But I should be prepared. Okay. So everything, whatever power, whatever we are doing in our life, we are empowered by the Supreme Lord. The success is coming because of the Lord. So whatever is happening in our life, we are supported by the Lord. So let's move forward. So now, here in this verse, the Lord is telling that we humans are living in a 9-gate city. So this body, which is called as a nine city of 9 gates. So how we have to live, what all things are there, so that we are going to discuss. So here we are going back to 3rd chapter. In this verse, what is this? Indriyani paranyahur. Indriyebhya param manaha. Manasastu para buddhir. Yo buddhe paratastu saha. So the thing is, previous verse, we are discussing here how the things are functioning in our body and how we work. So that thing we are discussing here, how we get distracted, how our actions are planned. So that all things we are going to discuss. First of all, we got to know that we are staying in this 9 gates city. So this is called as a city body. So it is having 9 doors. So after that, here the Lord is telling about how at what level different things are there in this body. So the lowest is our body, this matter. It is made up of Panchabhuta Sharir, we call it. So it is made up of 5 matter items. Then above that comes our senses. So we have 5 senses. So I think everyone might be knowing nose, ears, eyes, all that things, like 5 senses with which we enjoy everything in this world. Eyes, tongue, ear, nose, skin. So all these things, we enjoy the things here. And above senses comes the mind. So you all can even note down this, how the things function, how our actions are planned. Then comes like the mind. Above mind is our intelligence. Above intelligence is our soul. Soul is the owner of this body. And above soul is super soul, like Atma, Paramatma. So now, as in the previous 2nd chapter, we understood that we are not this body, we are the soul. my body, my hand. I gave all that logic concept to you. So now here the thing is coming. Body is at the lowest, then the senses, then mind, intelligence, and then comes the soul. Now soul is the honor, and mind is below intelligence and soul. And intelligence is designed that it has to control the mind, but mind becomes so overpowered that it is making our senses run here and there, and it start using our intelligence also. It starts becoming boss on us. So that is the only challenge which is going to come in further slides also. So mind, our mind, like no, sometimes it will say, I want to eat samosa, and now the senses will start running here and there, because the mind, like no sense, like it just saw an advertisement of Zomato or something on phone or on TV, and then it will signal, then the mind will say, yes, I want to eat this item today. Then the mind will start using intelligence how to procure that. This is a very small example I'm giving. Big issues, big robberies, big crimes, big challenges, everything is planned in this way only. The mind, something is coming in it, and then it uses our intelligence only to plan that certain thing, and the soul is just out, like don't have any control then. So it's very much important. Bhagavad Gita teaches us how to train our mind. The mind, which is out of control, is enemy sitting inside us. We think he is our topmost well-wisher, but if it is out of control, it becomes our enemy. So many times we say, no, मेरा मन ये करने को कर रहा है, आज मेरा मन ऐसे कर रहा है. We keep saying these words are also saying, my mind wants me to do this. So this is how it is working. We'll move to the next slide, where we will see how our mind and how our actions are working. These two shlokas are very famous shloka. How we get into trouble. ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्तेषुपजायते सङ्गात् सञ्जायते कामः कामात् क्रोधो अभिजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः. So what happens when contemplating about the sensory objects? The man develops an attachment to them. So what happened? We are watching some movie, or we are watching continuously some item. It can be a food item. It can be any car or anything, any item. You can think, let us do some activity. So you can plan any item which you think you like, and you are again and again thinking about it. You are in your mind, yes. Or like children say, this birthday I will do this, next birthday and the whole year they are thinking what they are going to do in their next birthday. Or we have seen a beautiful car or a beautiful girl or any eatable item. So we are thinking about it. So by again and again contemplating about it, observing it, what happens? We develop attachment to it. We think, I want it. I need it now. I want it. From that attachment springs lust. Lust is like severe craving to get that thing. I want it. And then slowly we start getting annoyed, anger. I want it. I want it. If you are not able to get, what happened? Anger start coming. Anger leads to delusion. Delusion means we are into certain kind of illusion. This is the only thing which I want in my life. I cannot be alive without this thing. This is life and soul for me. So these all kind of illusions start coming in our mind. And when delusions are coming, memory gets bewildered. Any kind of wrong thing which we are committing in our life, all criminals, all bad things, all bad people, even we do for the small, small things also, we can just test, is it happening or not? Then what happens? The person out of delusion, the memory gets bewildered. They are completely forgetting. The memory is like confused, and they forget, I belong to which family, what is my parents, what kind of relation I have a small children, my kids are there at home. If somebody is doing anything wrong on the road, many times we go on the road and two people are fighting, because thus they have little bit dashed each other and they are badly fighting, and just for the small this thing that you have dashed my car, the anger has reached such a high level that they picked up some weapon and just started hitting each other, and one person had completely finished off another person. So when such kind of anger is coming, there is delusion. We forget, and we completely, the memory gets so much bewildered, like memory loss kind of thing, that we forget, I have kids at home, I have my wife waiting, or my husband is doing waiting for me, or my parents, which family I belong, what I'm doing here. There is completely shut, and we are completely, and what happened when memory is bewildered, we lose the connection, like know what personality I am, what kind of person I am in the society, when we are doing that silly thing. So what happens? Intelligence is lost, because intelligence is one thing which helps is decision making. It helps in deciding what is good or what is bad. So when all these things are happening, intelligence completely goes to toss. It is lost. And when intelligence is lost, the person is not able to decide that I'm doing a wrong thing now, I'm hitting, I'm killing someone. And what are the what are the after effects of this going to come to me? They are completely not able to think about that. And then the person falls down, and he gets engaged in the wrong things. So this is, so see, the Supreme Lord in Bhagavad Gita, he is telling what is the sequence of wrong things, how people get engaged, and how they do bad things, and they are engaging in some uh, illicit activities in their life. All the crimes, robberies, eve teasing, and with girls, wrong things which are happening in our society, and so many events which are coming in the news, and we just hear in and around. These are all the background things. So if people are reading and understanding Bhagavad Gita from the very right age, we can reduce so many crimes and bad things happening in our society. There can be so many examples which fits into it, but our class will go so much, it will extend if I start connecting examples with it. There are, we cannot see, just because we saw something, we started liking it. Even small children also, from small children to old age people, this is the tendency how they are getting engaged in wrong things. Small kids, they see a toy, and you can relate it to whatever things are happening in and around. And when they want it, they just keep asking, "Ah, I want that cycle, or I want that toy, I want that video game, I want it." They are just thinking about it. And then next, they want it, severe desire is there, I just want it. And if parents are saying no, they become very much angry. And now this anger goes to another level, whether you are going to buy meat or not. It can be anything. a boy liking a girl or a girl liking a boy, or any kind of stuff. Then they are completely out of some moha, they are bewildered, memory is completely gone, and then they plan to do wrong things. Recently also in all the news channel, whatever is coming, you can relate how the things are happening. People take wrong decisions in their life just because of small contemplation of senses. Let's move ahead. How the things are working more. So there are three doers. So these three doers are Jiva. Jiva desires using free will to desire. N number of desires are coming in our mind, in our heart, and every time, whenever we see anything, I should also have it. Whenever we see a beautiful car going, I should also have it. If we want a beautiful house, we see it and we, Are Baba, I should also have such beautiful house. So now, second is Paramatma. Paramatma sanctions based on our karma. So people will keep desiring, I want to be Ambani, I want 100 by 100 feet bungalow, I want BMW. But we should have those karmas also, so that to get those things, right? So Lord sanctions based on our karma. Then Prakriti. So Prakriti implements and desire gets fulfilled. So we get, this is like how the things getting sanctioned in our life. Jivatma desire, Lord sanctions, and then material nature implements. So we can see the example of, like, no, a person goes to bank and he asks for 5,000 cash. Someone next is also standing, he also asks for 5,000. Person gives his account number and there is no cash. And another person gets 5,000 cash. So that person is asking, why you gave him 5,000 and you are not giving me? Right? Sometimes we also get in mind that, no, my desires are not getting fulfilled and my neighbor's desire is getting fulfilled. He has purchased 3 cars and I am not able to even buy one car. I am praying to Lord, oh my Lord, please give me one car at least. I requested for BMW and I got only 8 Maruti 800. So then the cashier says, sir, his account was having 5,000 balance, but your account is not having 5,000 balance, so I cannot give you. So you withdraw whatever you have deposited. So if you have done such kind of karma, then only your desires will be sanctioned. You want to go for a Europe trip, but there is no balance in your account. How you will go? So we keep desiring, but we should have that punyas. We should have that good thing in our credit should be there in our account so that it can be sanctioned. Okay. Moving ahead. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Swapake Cha Pandita Samadarshina. So here, the humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and a gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. So in this thing, the Lord is telling one concept which is very important, that is called equal vision. It's not like we see in our society, someone is high, someone is low, that all thing. Even we discussed in the previous class also. Here, a learned person who has understood the concepts of our Vedic scriptures will see, as I told, Lord is situated in the region of our heart. So it's not like it's only for humans, it's for even animals, even an elephant, a cow, a dog, a cat, a mosquito, everyone. So it is very much important for all of us to understand that Lord is situated in everyone's heart and we have to see everyone as equal. Now you will say Mataji has told that I have to treat everyone as equal. When a Brahmana is coming, we have to join our hands and pay requests. And even to humans which are like no eligible, we can do Namaste or Hare Krishna. But that doesn't mean that a dog is barking and you go and pay dandavas to it. There is like no a distance we have to keep. Like tomorrow lion is coming and Mataji told in the class that I should be equal to it, and you go and sit in front of lion or tiger. That is not the way. So it's like sambhav and some vyavhar. So we in the heart we know that these are all the part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. But that doesn't mean that we go and start behaving with the cow also in the same way, and the dog also in the same way, and the cat also same way. We have to keep a distinction between everyone. So sambhav and samvyavhar. We should not unnecessarily trouble other creatures for our benefit, right? We should not try to trouble them that I like the taste of this creature, let me enjoy having it. So that should not be there. We should give respect all to the creatures, and if it is required for our like no life, we have to run away also from such creatures. We cannot go and do arti and puja for them. So that is one concept which is told here. Now comes the peace formula. We all want peace in our lives. Now, how to attain this? This shloka is very, very important words from chapter 5, which tells very, very important relationship between us and the Supreme Lord. Till now I was telling, yes, Lord is situated in the region of our heart. He is there. He is the supreme controller. He who is only sanctioning the things. But now in this verse, let us know what is our relationship with him. भोक्तारां यज्ञतपसां सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं सुहृदं सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिं ऋच्छति. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Now, here, Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam. Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. Suhridam. This line, just we need to understand it very nicely that no, Suhridam Sarva Bhutana. So we, first of all, in the previous verse only, we understood he is situated in each and everyone's heart. So he is the topmost well-wisher of everyone, all the creatures, not only human beings, for everyone. Now, who is your best friend? You think, yes, this person is my best friend. So, is your best friend your well-wisher also? Always your well-wisher, thinking always good about you? It's very rarely we get such kind of combination that our best friend is our well-wisher also. So now we need to search who is our topmost well-wisher at all the times, who is always thinking good about us, who has provided so many things to us without even asking. He knew that we are going to come here, and he provided a wonderful place, Prithvi, our mother earth, to stay. And there so many trees, so many plants. You see the fruits. What kind of fruits? So many. Sometimes people will say we are in a jail. People, Bhagwan ne humko jail mein dal diya. He has thrown us here with so much problems. If a person in the jail, is he getting such colorful? See the color of beetroot. See the color of mangoes which are coming in this season. What beautiful color it is, and what a taste it is having. Complete nectar. Everyone is enjoying, I know. Then you just think that what is that? The kiwi. What kind of color it is having? Bananas and so many grapes, small, small, so many fruits and our grains. Everything. Different kind of taste and flavors. See the color of watermelon from inside. It's completely like no colors he has put, and so much different variety of taste he has put in that. That my my children are going to come here and enjoy it. Otherwise, what is the requirement for the Lord to do it? For we, because we will feel thirsty, he has arranged the water system. And the water also, to keep the water fresh, it doesn't get spoiled, he has put salt in the oceans. And when he has put the salt, now you say, how we will use the water which is having salt? Ocean water is useless for us. No, he has made the system. If you are all have studied science, evaporation, precipitation, the water gets evaporated because of sun. The clouds are made, and then it sheds like in the form of rain. And rain is the best water, the purest form of water which we can drink. And these all water goes into the rivers, and these rivers, they just like no irrigate all the land, the crops are happening. He thought so much about us. He's our topmost well-wisher. Suhridam, well-wisher. Just think, your topmost well-wisher, your best friend, your topmost well-wisher, he is the person who is all powerful, most powerful. He is the most wealthiest person. What will be your way of thinking? What you will think? Your best friend, your topmost well-wisher, he is having everything in his control. He is the most powerful person of this planet, most wealthiest person. How much confidence will have? Tomorrow you get to know that some of your relative is very like no, your common relative is one of your relative is also the relative of Ambani's. What will be your thought process? Yay! My this relative is related to Ambani. Automatically you feel, Arre wah. Now think, we are simply upset so many times. We feel so devastated. We are so much in depression. We have to just think this thing, that my topmost well-wisher, my topmost best friend is the most powerful person, is the most wealthiest person of this whole Brahmand, not only this planet. He's Akhil Brahmand Nayak. When we are singing Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the cause of all the causes. Without his permission, even a leaf cannot move from one place to another. And that person is your topmost well-wisher. He thinks best for you. That confidence we should have. Just think, sometimes we think that that person is getting the benefit, this person is getting the benefit. Lord has given us, we have to be only grateful that my Lord is giving the best to me. In every situation, he is doing best for me. And I should be very much grateful for it. You just think, he's not even for the humans, even for the Rakshasas. He is thinking about them also, who are doing all the bad things. Just think, Putana. Krishna was just 4 to 5 days old. And Putana came to kill this small baby, Krishna, and to feed poisonous milk to this baby Krishna. And Krishna knew that she is a Rakshasi and she has come to feed me poisonous milk. Krishna drank that poisonous milk and gave her, because she has fed the milk, she has come like a mother. Krishna gave her the position of mother in his dham. That is the nature of Supreme Lord. He is not even seeing what kind of intention that person. He's just seeing that she came with the mood, as she came in the disguised form of a mother. She was a Rakshasi and gave her the position of mother. So much he is thinking about everyone. Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. Everyone is thinking so much. Let me tell you one pastime about from Mahabharat. When Abhimanyu was killed, Arjuna took the pratigya that whoever is the cause of death of Abhimanyu, I will kill him tomorrow. If I am not able to kill him tomorrow, I will take Agni Samadhi. And who was the cause of Abhimanyu's death? That was Jayadratha. So Arjuna took this pratigya. Krishna told, why you took this pratigya? He said, I am in anger. I want to take revenge for my son. So now, next day, Arjuna starts searching for Jayadratha. And the opposite party, Kaurava's party, they planned that if we hide Jayadratha, and Jayadratha is not out till evening today, if we hide, our job is to just hide Jayadratha, Arjuna will be dying on his own. He will take Agni Samadhi. He will die. So then, if Arjuna is gone, we can easily win the battle of Mahabharata. So they started planning everything, and they kept Jayadratha very, very far in a very isolated location, covered by so many armies, people. They were protecting Jayadratha. Arjuna is searching. Tension is increasing. Time is passing by, and he's not able to find Jayadratha anywhere. He's just running and searching in all the locations. Afternoon has happened. Then evening is approaching. And now Arjuna is becoming very much tensed. That what will happen? And I will lose my life, and I won't be able to get anything. I won't be able to help my brothers. So now he's also thinking, what will happen? Evening is approaching, and suddenly the sun sets down. And now Arjuna is devastated. The Gandiva, everything falls down from his hand, and now he is thinking that I have to die. And on other side, the Kaurava, Duryodhana, and they start enjoying, and they say, Arjun, be ready now. We have made the fire, this thing, camp bonfire ready for you. You enter in it. Quick, you just lose your life now. You go and enter. And then from the far, Jayadratha also super excited. He's so super excited, he starts running from the army. It's moving them away, and he's running and dancing in front of the chariot of Arjuna. That yes, now Arjuna will die. My life is saved. Nothing will happen to me. So he's dancing. And then Krishna is sitting and watching. Arjuna, tears are rolling down that everything is finished for him. And he's thinking, now I have to go. Suddenly, then Krishna stands up and he moves his hand. And as he moves his hand, the sun comes out. So that was, which is even recorded in our scriptures, in our astrological this thing also, that was the first solar eclipse which has happened, and that was the time of Mahabharata. The Mahabharata, when solar eclipse happened. So this thing, Krishna did a solar eclipse in which the sun was completely covered, and it gave the impression that the sun has already set and evening has happened and the war time is over. Now, suddenly the Kauravas and Jayadratha, everyone sees there is a bright sun in front of them. And Krishna tells to Arjuna, Arjun, pick up your Gandiva, and Jayadratha is standing in front of you now. Finish him off. Then Arjuna gets the energy back and he immediately picks up his bow and arrow. Then Lord Krishna tells that you have to kill him in such a way that his head doesn't falls on the ground. It should go and fall in his father's lap only. Because Jayadratha has some boon that if his head fell down on the ground, so whoever has killed him, his head will also blast up. So like this, then immediately, and Jayadratha was dancing, and suddenly everything has changed for him. And Arjuna shoots him and takes away the head of Jayadratha on the arrow, and the head falls in his father's lap. And as he just throws the head on the ground, his head collapses. So in this, we just see even Arjuna is like in the mindset of doing so much, trying and all, but Lord was thinking about him, how I have to give protection, how I have to help him. Same is our situation. We are sometimes so much occupied with our day-to-day activities, with so many things in our life, that we completely forget that our topmost well-wisher is already present and is ready to guide us and ready to help us. The only challenge is we don't want to connect with him. And the best way to connect with the Supreme Lord is chanting. So today I'm going to tell you about chanting, how we should chant. This chanting of the name of the Supreme Lord gives us the connection with him, chanting his names. How yesterday also we discussed how Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is important and how it is the topmost Maha Mantra for the Kali Yuga. This mantra, what happens? Very logical concept I will give you. See, we need to keep in touch with our best friend, right? We need to keep in touch with our well-wishers. Same is with the Supreme Lord. How you keep in touch with your well-wishers, your best friend? By texting them, calling them, hello, how are you? By keeping in touch with them by WhatsApp, sending message, remembering them, dropping a message, meeting them. So these all things we can do with our topmost well-wisher also, right? We can do all those same things with Krishna. And how it happens? When you chant his name, when you remember him, you are keeping in touch with him as you are keeping in touch with your friends. Same thing, very much practical, very much just those things which we do in our day-to-day life. We have to just pick up our bead. If you all have beads, try to chant on the beads. I'll show. After that, I'll unmute all of you. You can ask your queries. So this is mala. This consists of 108 beads. So what we have to do, we have to take this our tall finger, not the pointer. So on this finger, we have to put the first bead and pull towards us. So first, as I'm chanting Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So like this, one. Then Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Anyways, Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So like this, you are building your connection with the Lord. So like this, 108. So you can chant on beads. You can get the beads from the temple. If you don't have beads, don't worry. You can chant on your hands also. So on one hand, we have 12, these 12 points, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So these are the 12 points. 12 into 9 on this hand. So you chanted one, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So like this you did all 12 and then you moved 1. So like this 12 into 9 equals to 108. So you are able to chant 108 times Krishna's mantra. And this mantra consists of 16 words, right? So 16 into 108, so many, right? So many times you have called Krishna, the Supreme Lord. And this is the best way. This is the only recommended way. This is the phone number which you are dialing every day to establish your connection with Him. And you are filling your account. You are filling your account with Krishna Nam, which is only going to help us, which is only going to give us like no the direction. When we have good points in our account, everything, all positive and good activities will be happening in our life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare Namah.